CQL's mission, vision, and values is directly aligned with AHRC's mission, vision, and values in that they're looking to understand how people experience supports and services and live the lives they want to live in the ways in which they want to live them. Hi, my name's Sarah Baer. I'm the Associate Vice President for Performance Improvement and Innovation. I'm focused on our organization's CQL accreditation, and I'm very involved with all of our personal outcome measure work across the organization. So our continued partnership with CQL is important for the organization as we look forward to the future to understand what we're doing well and what we can do better, especially coming out of the pandemic and starting to manage in an endemic continuous basis. We really need to understand and take stock of what we're doing, how we're doing it, and reflecting on our approaches, interventions, and our long-term strategy as an organization.
My name is Laura Cucinota. I am in the Senior Quality Improvement Officer position in the Quality Improvement Department. AHRC NYC began its history with the Council on Quality and Leadership in 2012, and we received our first accreditation from them in 2014. We were then re-accredited in 2018 and are very quickly approaching our 2022 re-accreditation. Over that time period, we've really developed a strong partnership with CQL, utilizing the Personal Outcome Measure or POM tool. The beauty of using the POM tool is the nature of it being as person-centered as possible. It's designed in such a person-centered way that it starts with the consent. It includes questions like, do you know that you can stop at any time? Do you know that you can change your mind about having this conversation? Are you aware that it may bring up some uncomfortable or negative memories? So it's really discussed at length before even jumping into the questions. Some of the questions covered within the POM interview are, do you feel like you see your family and friends enough? Would you like to see them more? How would you like to see them? What kinds of things would you like to do with them? Do you have enough friends? Do you see your friends enough? Do you and your friends do a variety of activities that are to your satisfaction? It talks about respect, which is so complicated and so complex, and it's really in depth, and it really takes a look at the whole picture. So when we talk about choosing personal goals, we really want to know, outside of any box, outside of any meeting, outside of any plan, what is it that you want for your life? What do you see for your future? Each of us, hopefully, when we have any personal or professional accomplishment, there's a celebration. Our friends, our families want to get together and show us how proud they are of us. And we're looking for some of those same elements in people's lives.
We can't celebrate something if we don't know it's important to the person, and we can't support it if we don't know it's important. And since our part of our organizational vision is accepting and understanding that everyone is different and those differences are to be embraced, POM is one demonstration in which we can understand those differences and also provide supports. So the personal outcome measures is the creme de la creme of person-centered tools in understanding how a person lives their lives and how we can support them in living the lives they want. The tool is used to gain meaningful information on both the individual level and then also on a roll-up for an organizational level to understand trends of things that we need to focus on and potentially areas that we might need to provide interventions. The data we procure from personal outcome measure conversations allows us to have information in a report that the person receives that's kept in their file, and their circle of support gets to have a conversation with the person and follow up on the things that matter most for them that have been discovered during the POM conversation. Additionally, the organization aggregates all of those POM conversations into a master data set. We then understand trends for the organization, by department, and other trends that might overlay in regards to enrollments and demographic information. So historically, AHRC had many people interviewing across the organization to procure information for person-centered planning. In that data, we did a deeper dive of trying to understand what it was showing us, and we started to see discrepancies in our data set.
We were seeing that people who were learning the tool during the workshop, as well as graduated after the workshop, were scoring things to be present, both outcomes for the person and the supports in place from the agency, on a much higher level than those who have gone through the certification process.
Meaning that some of our data was overrepresenting our accomplishments and achievements in supporting someone with their goals and outcomes. And while well-intended, we need to have better data to drive better outcomes for the organization and for the people supported, which is why AHRC is now focused on certified data for all of our personal outcome measures.
We realize that those who go through that further step with CQL are really using the tool most efficiently as a research reliable tool. We see this as a job responsibility, an additional job responsibility. So we wanted to make sure that it was clear to people that this was a job that they would be applying and interviewing for. So we are now compensating people for each POM report that they submit. And it comes out of the foundation grant. In fall of 2021, we advertised to everyone across the agency. There was a form that people applied with, including some writing samples that asked questions about what being person-centered means to them and why they want to become a POM interviewer or a POM interviewer/trainer. And we had a lot of applications. We asked a variety of different questions and also checked references with supervisors. We made our selection and then made an offer. There was an agreement that was reviewed and signed. And so to date, we have 17 people who are certified as CQL POM interviewers, and 4 of those people are also certified as CQL POM trainers. Within our team, within quality improvement, all of us just became really adamant at the fact that we need to have people supported at every table. And if people supported are very much in the process of all of the work we do, and obviously we couldn't do a single POM report without people supported, let's see if there are any people that we provide services for that would be interested in becoming a POM interviewer. And also get them compensated for the work that they're doing. We are excited to highlight that we are supporting Asante Breland, a person receiving supports at AHRC, along with a staff member, Matt Estep, in their joint certification. So they have become the first pair of people certified by CQL to do POM interviews. They are certified to do them together as a pair, and we're just super jazzed about that. So immediately Asante was engaged. He was asking all the relevant questions. So it became very evident that he was a perfect fit. We made sure to ask questions about the comfort level between he and Matt. They've been to lots of advocacy events together. They are activists together. It just was a perfect fit.
My name is Asante Breland, and I work for AHRC. Right now, I'm working in rights advocacy, subject matter, and CQL as well. I went for a program a long time ago to become a peer educator. And I did that so I could give back and so that I could be a part of something that's going to help people. And when CQL popped up, I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to help out my peers, and I can make sure they're receiving the services that they need and that they're getting the help that they're looking for. I heard about it from Matt. Matt told me about it, and I was very interested in it.
Hi, I'm Matt Estep, the Self-Advocacy Advisor for AHRC. I first heard about CQL back in 2012 when I was brand new to the agency, and we were doing our first accreditation. And I really liked the idea of doing these interviews to find out how we can best support the people we're working with. That kind of culture is something that I really appreciated. Well, when Asante and I do interviews together, I think there are some parts of it that are just sort of a natural split that we do. Asante asks about 80% of the questions. I take about 80% of the notes. And then what I find most helpful about working with Asante is that we've got each other to bounce ideas off of afterwards. We can talk out the interview. We can make sure that we haven't missed anything.
Well, instead of asking the questions by myself and maybe not getting all the way response, sometimes Matt might ask it in a different way, or we have each other to talk to about the outcomes of each question section.
And we can discuss, if there's a question, is this measure present or is it an opportunity? We can really discuss and get down into what the crux of the question is and what it would take to make sure that this opportunity is really present.
I learned that there's different ways that you can ask the same question that will be easier for a person to answer the question. If you're asking about the safety of someone's home, You can ask them in another way, like, are you being treated right at home, or is there any issues like you have your fire signature, you have the stuff that you need that make you feel safe?
I think most people who work for an agency like AHRC are really seeking the best for the people that we're working with and trying to support. But occasionally there are times when our idea of what is going to be best for the individual that we're supporting is not in line with what that person thinks. Asante has an amazing perspective on this that isn't shared by me or any of the other interviewers. There are a lot of questions that he can really relate to in a way that we just can't based on our lived experiences. So I've been in interviews with Asante while we've been talking to somebody who gets residential services, and he can talk about what it's like to work with the staff who assist him at the residence in a way that I haven't experienced it myself, and I can't necessarily relate to. He really understands what people are going through, what people are looking for from their services in a way that we're all hoping to, but we haven't lived that yet, and he has.
I would want a person to be heard that's going through stuff like that. And not a lot of people have a voice to talk. There's some people that are a little shy. So hopefully if they see what I'm doing, that will give them motivation to do more.
I think the most important part is making sure that the work that we're doing is really supporting people in the way that they want to be supported. We're not trying to impose our vision on people. We're trying to see how they need help and make sure that that's available.
And we can't begin to advocate for people until we ask them all the questions about how satisfied they may or may not be in different elements in their lives.
The personal outcome measure tool is based on a culture of curiosity. It requires the interviewer to come at information in a new and fresh way, ask questions without assumptions, and be open to whatever the person's response is, because at the end of the day, it is all centered around the person's experience.
I think CQL is a benefit for AHRC, and I think between the two of them, they can make things better.